Hello, so today I want to talk about the uniqueness of mental skills. So you are a unique person, and so the mental skills that you are going to utilize on a consistent basis is going to be different from somebody else. Some of them might be the same, but just because one thing helps somebody doesn't necessarily mean it's going to help you. I'll give you for an example. So breathing is a fantastic technique to be able to use prior to events as well as sometimes during events. And for some people this works very, very well, but I have had athletes and clients that I work with especially during maybe a situation or event, the breathing just isn't working for them because it almost helps to heighten maybe the anxiety or the other feelings that they have in that moment. And so now it's kind of doing opposite of what it should be doing. Now sometimes this is simply because they haven't practiced enough, and that's something that we look at, but sometimes it's just not a right fit for somebody, and that's okay. There's other ways to maybe help someone manage their emotions, manage their emotional arousal level. And so we need to look at what for each person that looks like. Sometimes the sport we have to take into consideration. So for example, another good strategy to help, let's say, maybe cut through some tension or stress or anxiety is laughing, and maybe playing, or not playing, but joking around with a teammate. But obviously not every sport has teammates. Not every sport allows you the ability to talk to somebody else, to kind of joke around with them. So you then maybe have to figure out a different strategy that's going to work for that individual, whether it's, maybe they can tell jokes within their own mind. But whatever that is, right, it's very, very unique and individualized, and that's one of the things that I look at with my clients. I've had some clients who have come up with some very unique ways to help them with certain situations, manage certain things within themselves to help them to perform, whether it's their focus or their emotions. Part of that is then being able to understand yourself, right? And I've talked about this in other videos where you need to understand yourself so that you can match the right mental skill to you. So just because someone is doing one mental skill and it's really, really helping them, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. It may, but there may be something else out there that's really going to help benefit you much more so than maybe this other thing that somebody else is doing. So when you're starting to look at mental skills and what's going to work for you, you obviously need to kind of look at a variety of the different mental skills and see what is out there and play around with them a little bit at the beginning. But obviously once we've started to hone in, we don't want to hop around from mental skill to mental skill. We want to obviously hone in on what is going to work for us and when we need to implement certain things, and then kind of do that. So another example of this would be routines, right? Routines are important, and so in one sense you don't get away from, everyone kind of needs some form of routine. But I've had athletes I work with who are very detailed, very specific routines, and other people where it's as a way of doing things, but it's not so detailed, or I would say fine-tuned, but it looks different than maybe this other person. And so that's what works for them, and this other thing works for somebody else. So it's important to kind of start to ask yourself, like, what does help you? What has helped you in the past to put yourself in the right mental place, to have the focus that you need, to have the commitment that you need, the self-awareness that you need, the ability to maybe learn from your mistakes, to block out distractions, to be mentally ready, and to learn from what is going on. And those are really some of the key areas that you want to obviously hone in on, different mental skills that cover those different areas. And once you do, as I said, you kind of start to really obviously lean in on them, become better with them. But as I said, there is a uniqueness out there with what types of mental skills are going to work for you.